All right, so under a month to go to the playoffs, who do you want to see the Nuggets play in the first round, or who do you think the Nuggets should want to play in the first round?
You know what's crazy, fellas, is it feels like almost every combination is still on the table, right?
Yeah,
Maybe a couple
does.
of weeks ago, I would have only looked at a handful of teams. Right now, I'm going to take the obvious one because I think it's in play. The Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Like, could be in the 4-5. I'd prefer it go differently. Denver rises, Memphis drops. I just think Memphis is, credit to their depth and their coaching for picking up wins. But when it's a toss-up of who your best player is, John Moran or Jaren Jackson Jr., at times it's been Jaren Jackson Jr. this year, most of the year, I just have a hard time believing you're going to keep up with Jokic, Luka and LeBron, Jimmy and Steph. So really just from the best player perspective, before you get into anything else, you really have to like the matchup with Memphis for Denver.
I agree. For me, it's probably Memphis, too. I mean, they're just the easy one. They can't stop Jokic. They can't really stop Jamal either. You look at the Nuggets' strengths, and, Memphis can't really match those. Who is it for you guys?
Give me Iguodala. Give
I
me
want
Golden State
Iguodala.
Warriors. I want Iguodala. No, give me the Golden State Warriors. I want revenge on this squad. And
I like it.
we don't know what the health status is going to be of Wardell Stephen Curry. He went down the other night. We'll see if he's able to get back to strength by the playoff time. But even if he is at full strength, I have full confidence in the Nuggets matching up with the Golden State Warriors. And again, I want revenge. This has to be bigger than just finding the easiest way through. I want to make a statement all the way to the
I
NBA
thought about
title.
the Warriors, too, and I think it could be the Warriors for two reasons. The first is they don't have an answer for Jokic.
No.
And I know Draymond Green's making this late season defensive player of the year push, but we saw that matchup in the playoffs 2 years ago.
Yes.
When I think Jokic was worse and had a worse team around him, and Draymond was probably a little better 2 years ago than he even is now. And by the end of that series, Jokic had Draymond in his back pocket.
I agree.
That matchup was done, finished by the end of it. Jokic got the better of him. And so I just, I start every series by looking at that. How will this team guard Jokic?
Yeah.
They don't have the length, which I think is the number one thing you need to bother the Nuggets inside. The Warriors don't have the length to bother Jokic or Denver.
Yeah, for me, I would go with the hottest team out west right now, the Houston Rockets. There is time for them to fall right now, but it's not the fact that I don't think they're talented. I think it's the inexperience, just not being there, having a very young group. I do think they're well coached. I do think that they have, the guys that can compete, but I just haven't seen it be done. And also, I don't know who their best player is right now. I think that it changes a lot of times. I think they're a defensive unit that has, some scores, but I don't know if they have a guy. And I just think that you have to have a guy in the Western Conference right now. So give me Houston.
Here's another thing. I want to go back to the Warriors real quick. You mentioned this a little bit, but the Warriors are the one team the Nuggets haven't really gotten revenge on.
No, I know. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I want listen, I don't know if we're going to go all the way. We are, but I don't know if we're going to. And even if somehow, some way the Nuggets fall short of the ultimate goal, I want there to be something that we can look back on in this postseason. Beating up a Memphis, I don't care. Beating Houston, I don't care. Beating the Warriors, that means something to me.
The Nuggets got revenge on the Lakers. I mean, twice over now for the bubble loss.
And then they
conference
fathered
finals.
them.
Why not go for three?
Yeah. Well, we can get to the Lakers in a second. They got revenge on the Suns. They did that whole thing. The Warriors are the only team that's still out there, man.
Yeah, but the Warriors, they scare me because they have the it factor.
Yep.
They have Jimmy Butler in the playoffs. He's a completely different monster. He's a completely different team. And since adding him, they have, two bullies.
Couldn't
out
stop
west.
Spencer Jones, though, just saying.
They have two bullies out west.
And we did see Jimmy in the playoffs, just saying.
Yeah, but he has guys with him. Also, you already know what you get in Steph Curry. And you know that he can take over a game.
He's scary.
He could
no
just
doubt.
do anything that he wants in the playoffs, and he will do anything to will him there. So you have those two guys on the exact same team this time around. That's a little bit scary for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm kind of with D-Line in terms of I think Denver can beat them, and it's the one that feels the best.
Yes.
But compared to the other
the
two
yummiest.
options, there's no doubt about it. I mean,
Right.
John Morant versus Steph and Jimmy, I don't think it's even close. Houston doesn't have that going for them. Then there's the Clippers, fellas, which I kind of think are What are the? Will they have? Will they
I
have?
don't even know what the Clippers
Will
are.
they have
I'm
Kawhi?
not sure.
Are they good? I don't,
Part of me doesn't want to play James Harden in the playoffs, but part of me thinks the Nuggets would win 5 games easily also.
and that is a guy that's killed the Nuggets over the years too. Not
Yeah.
like it would feel like anything now, but yeah, just the Clippers are an interesting one. And like, I think everyone would be fine against them, but maybe Kawhi goes insane. Who knows?
Yeah. Part of me also does want the Lakers again for a 3rd straight season. And look, I know the embarrassing loss a few weeks back is still in our minds. You know, when the Nuggets got boat raced by the Lakers.
It's not mine.
JJ Redick stayed up 48 hours to game plan. Here's the thing, though. I know that defensive strategy, that's not going to hold up throughout a playoff series. That can win you a game. Maybe it can win you a couple games. In a playoff series, you game plan more if you're the Nuggets. You adjust more. If the Nuggets didn't make any adjustments that game, they're going to be ready for that. I have a very hard time seeing that slowing down Nikola Jokic for more than a game if they were to see it in the playoffs. And again, they don't have the bodies down low to really stop Jokic. I don't think they have the defenders across the entire roster. They are better and they are more dangerous and more imposing, I think, with Luka in place of Anthony Davis. But the Lakers are still very flawed. I am not really buying that they're actually as good as they looked in this recent stretch where they had everybody healthy. They're a little scarier maybe than they were last year, but I don't know, man. In a playoff environment, I still kind of would welcome that matchup a little bit.
I was over it until I saw some of the reaction to that game. And
Yeah, now I kind of want it again. Though.
Yeah, I want it back. I want it back. The Nuggets owning the Lakers felt great. And I think Lakers fans feel like they saw enough that it's changed. I'm not convinced. So I'd like to see it in the series. Would it be the easiest one? No.
It'll
But-
be harder than last year.
But would
I
it be
think.
a fun one to get through again? I think so.
I don't want to deal with Austin Reeves and the refs and the free throws and JJ Redick pulling all-nighters, though. That's what I don't want to
But
do.
we've seen that for the last few years, and it just has not been enough for them to overcome. I still do think that they have a Nikola Jokic problem.
Sure.
And an even bigger one now without Anthony Davis there, who Jokic was like very successful against. But I just think that not having a big man that you can rely on or go through, that changes them. That puts them at a disadvantage. Yes, on the flip side, you have Luka, and he is a monster. He is a lot that you have to deal with. There's going to have to be a lot of adjustments. But it's also very early on for the Lakers, so they're having to figure that out, and they haven't had a lot of time together. They've had to, switch up and have different variations of their team right now. So I think you got to get them early. You got to get them right now. I will be okay with 3 straight.
The only team I don't want to see is Minnesota.
No argument.
That's kind of the only team I really don't want to see in the first round. Everybody else, I'm like, all right.
Take what comes.
It's because Minnesota is set to just beat one team.
Yeah, that's what it seems like sometimes.
I'll watch them every other night, or you just see them in different matchups, and you're like, that's not the same team. I promise you
Yeah.
it's not. They'll lose to some rough teams, or like they'll play differently, but then they play the Nuggets the same way,
Yeah.
and they have a game plan against them. It's because that's the mirror. That's who they wanted to try to go against, and that's who they put that team together for.
Yep.
The same way the Nuggets had the Lakers number, it feels right now like the Wolves have the Nuggets
Oh, and
number.
Minnesota knows it too.
And-
They're
and-
confident in
and
that
that's
matchup.
really it. It's the confidence. They come
Yeah.
into Ball Arena knowing they're going to just take it. And I even think that the matchup has changed slightly back in Denver's favor, but that hasn't manifested at all because the Nuggets see Wolves uniforms and they just become the worst versions of themselves. So
Yeah.
whatever it is they're not getting over mentally in addition to the X's and O's, I want nothing to do with it.
All right, well, we'll see in the next couple weeks. Seeding's still very much up in the air. We'll find out who the Nuggets get.